basically saying he's not allowed to sue and defend himself because I'm a victim. This is absurd to use that as a way to stand up for all victims. I'm sickened by the lengths she will go to, as was Brian Friedman, who responded very well, I have to add, that there was no SH.
Blake Lively's empire just crumbled faster than a cookie in a caffeine addict's grip. Her beloved haircare brand, the same one she shoved into a domestic abuse movie promo like it was Oscar bait, got legally scalped after Justin's lawyer dropped a bombshell update. Turns out, launching a liquor brand alongside shampoo while cosplaying as a marketing genius was messier than a tequila spill in a salon. The lawsuit tore through her empire like a toddler with scissors, leaving Blake's PR team scrambling like roaches when the lights flip on. And let's not forget the masterstroke of hijacking a serious film's moment for her conditioner ads. Tone Deaf doesn't even begin to cover it. So, Blake stands. Time to admit this brand's deader than the chemistry in her Savior Complex promo, or y'all still sipping that overpriced Rosemary Margarita shampoo?
She's a mean girl, she's nasty, she's hawking liquor and hair care products.
It might have looked like a smart move at first, but it crashed harder than her PR team could clean up. And now Brian Friedman just connected that shampoo disaster to her tone-deaf mess of a year. And the new findings are honestly insane. She thought it would be smart to launch her overpriced shampoo just 5 days before It Ends With Us hit theaters. Because, yeah, nothing says domestic violence awareness like forcing people to buy a $180 conditioner.
But I'm just like, it's not worth it. I'm returning every single one of her products because none of them are good. And I think all of her products in total were like $160 or $180.
Fans were side-eyeing her movie promo harder than a bartender judging a bad cocktail order. Then she tossed a shampoo bomb into the mix. Suddenly, the cringe dial cranked to dumpster fire, and critics feasted like hyenas at an all-you-can-roast buffet.
Blake Brown line from Blake Lively, and I almost didn't even make this video because I'm honestly so embarrassed that I got it anyway, and I got it like the day before everything broke, so this doesn't even have to do with the drama.
TikTok roasted Blake's deep-fried movie hair like it owed them money. Folks clowned her do harder than a Florida palm tree in hurricane season, saying she looked chewed up by a tornado's blender. Others swore her strands had the chaotic energy of someone yeeting backwards down a sand dune on a pogo stick. Let's be real. That messy vibe wasn't method acting. It was a cry for deep conditioner and a prayer.
This is some of the worst products that I've ever used on my hair. And when I tell you that my hair has never felt so unhealthy in my entire life, like what did she put in this?
This wasn't the viral moment Blake wanted, begging folks to trust her with split ends while TikTok dragged her fried to a crisp do harder than a Florida power grid in July. And when real reviews for Blake Brown hit, let's just say things got uglier than a seagull fight over a soggy fry. People who dropped $160 to $180 on the full line weren't just disappointed, they were straight up furious. Apparently the products promised to nourish and hydrate, but customers said their hair came out drier than a 3-day-old bagel.
I'm telling you right now, my hair has never been this dry in my life, and it's not just the ends. I've heard some people say it's at the ends, it's at the ends, it's at the top, it's all.
Some swore their hair hit rock bottom, limp, fried, screaming for a witness protection program. Returns flooded Targets nationwide like shampoo refugees fleeing an emergency situation. And Blake? Radio silence. No apology, no oops. Just crickets chirping louder than her PR team's panic attacks. TikTok's dragging her harder than a Netflix true crime doc. Blake's brand is the real toxic relationship.
So people have been making a lot of TikToks about it, saying Blake using It Ends With Us movie to promote her hair brand, meanwhile looking like this in every scene. Blake's hair in It Ends With Us be like Blake Lively's hair in It Ends With Us while she's using this movie to promote her hair brand.
Blake pulled a classic celeb meltdown move. Double down and gaslight. Suddenly, her site was slinging buy one, get one 50% deals like a Black Friday fire sale at a haunted mall. Broken promises were buy one, get one free, and desperation smelled stronger than a dollar store candle. Congrats, girlie. You're not a CEO. You're a clearance rack carnival barker.
Blake Brown beauty. Buy one, get a second for only 50% off, guys. Now, look, I know I'm sort of promoting this deal. She's probably hoping, but I promoted in that it looks like you're doing okay business-wise, Blake.
Online, she tried to spin it like everything was going amazing. Champagne-popping levels of success. But behind the scenes, the flood of returns and customer complaints told a story way messier than her hair in that awful trailer. It was so clear she was losing the plot and fast.
She's now advertising and has all these people showing off her Blake Brown hair care products, where she talks about, oh, that's a anyway. 7 years I've spent on this hair care line that apparently was destroyed by just.
She's a mean girl. She's nasty. She's hawking liquor and hair care products for a domestic violence movie, saying it wasn't about domestic violence.
But the real scandal, the launch timing didn't just flop, it ripped off Blake's activist mask like a bad wax job. It Ends With Us was supposed to uplift survivors, not fund her shampoo empire's Delulu marketing budget. Using domestic violence as a promo prop? Congrats. You've mastered charity cosplay. The cause wasn't supported. It was sponsored, and Blake's credibility? Deader than her conditioner's hydration claims. The whole point of the movie was to highlight domestic violence survivors, and instead, Blake hijacked the entire press tour to talk about her stupid hair masks and her side hustle liquor brand survivors who were expecting serious conversations about abuse got treated to cocktail recipes and hair serum tutorials. Instead, it was so tone deaf it almost felt like a prank, except nobody was laughing, and when the backlash hit her like a truck. Blake didn't even try to take responsibility. She instantly pointed fingers at Sony Pictures, basically blaming everyone but her dog for the disaster.
Instead of focusing on the issues, she was so rude throughout anybody who asked about it. She didn't want to talk about it. And then she just blamed Sony. Well, that wasn't the plan, girl. You took over the marketing. Maximum Effort took over the marketing. Sony was just doing whatever you asked because you wouldn't do anything unless you kept getting your demands. And now you're going to blame them and everybody else when that failed.
Insiders quickly spilled that Blake herself had taken over the marketing through her company Maximum Effort. She called the shots she planned, the campaigns she chose to promote shampoo and vodka instead of standing up for real victims.
As the comments were just ripping these videos up saying, why is she just making everyone's hair frizzy? Like, I can spend $0 and just not brush my hair when I wake up. I've never once looked at her and thought I need her hair care routine. My hair looks like this after a sweat sesh at the gym. And as some time has passed, the reviews are rolling in from people who have actually purchased the products, and things aren't looking the best for Blake.
Guess what I'm returning? Every single one of Blake Brown's hair care products.
And just when you thought this dumpster fire couldn't spark more outrage, survivors stormed the chat. Not the thanks for sharing kind of rage, but the how dare you monetize our trauma fury. Blake didn't just borrow their pain. She shrink-wrapped it into a $50 serum, like a Black Friday doorbuster. Messy? Greedy? Try ethically bankrupt. Survivors weren't seen. They were strip-mined for profit, and the backlash hit harder than a therapy bill after a toxic relationship.
They do not like them. A lot of them are saying that the fragrances are really interesting, which like totally vibes. I feel like she looks like a girl who has really good smelling hair. But I want to talk about how all of these images are not marketing the actual product, they're marketing Blake. This is not the shot of strong, beautiful hair that I would want to see. And I do not think that these images are achieving that goal.
Enter Blake's legal squad, clutching California's shiny new Section 47.1 law like it's a life raft on the Titanic. This law, designed to shield real survivors from legal bulldozers, not cushion celebs from self-inflicted PR grenades. But Blake's team? Twisting it into a VIP pass for accountability dodging. January 1st, 2025. A day meant to protect victims, not prop up a shampoo scammer's crumbling empire. The irony? Thicker than her conditioner's false promises.
She's still using real victims of SH real abuse because he called her sexy and because a dude looked her in the eyes while inviting him in to talk to him while she's breastfeeding. Like, it's crazy.
In court documents filed by her attorneys, Mike Golub and Ezra Hudson Blake is seriously trying to argue that being called sexy and getting looked at while breastfeeding her kid counts as harassment.
But you didn't do okay. The movie did okay. You got the backlash for what you chose to do. Fully believe this, and it's disgusting to see she's still using real victims of SH, real abuse, because he called her sexy.
Brian Friedman, who honestly deserves an award at this point, immediately tore this nonsense apart in a statement to TMZ on March 28, 2025. He didn't even bother being polite about it.
Clearly, they want to divert the public's attention from the receipts, the actual documents, video footage, and additional evidence shown that make it irrefutable that there was no SH. Focusing instead on her hair care and alcohol products, which at the time caused the organic backlash that she received. She does not need discovery to find out who smeared her. Just a mirror will do.
Will do, and it didn't stop there because legal expert Ron Brano hopped onto Popcorn Planet the very next day and basically said, "Blake girl, you're about to make history, just not the way you think." Section 47.1 is so fresh that no court has even interpreted it yet.
My God, that is an amazing clapback. It is so spot on. That is exactly what this case is about. She refuses to take any accountability for what she actually did do, which was promote her alcohol brand, her hair care brand, instead of focusing on the issues.
If Blake keeps pushing this fantasy, there's a real chance it could end up straight at the Supreme Court. Definitely not the kind of headline her PR team had on the vision board. When you strip away all the fancy legal words, the issue couldn't be more obvious.
You can talk about ball busting with teeth and you can say all the stuff you can do, but then as you open up this environment that you declare a safe space, as soon as he says things similar to what you do, USH me, USH me. Here's what Blake Lively's team is declaring, okay? Blake's attorneys, Mike Goltub and Ezra Hudson, tell TMZ, that's right, Justin Baldoni, the man who has built his brand on supposedly speaking up for victims, believes that the First Amendment rights of victims of SA and harassment to speak out should give way to the rights of perpetrators to sue their victims into oblivion.
But if you thought Blake's legal evidence was bad, hold on to your wigs. Brian Friedman torched her paper-thin claims like a flamethrower at a cobweb convention. After the court filings spilled like tea at a sorority brunch, he dropped the mic with, "She doesn't need discovery to find who smeared her, just a mirror." Brutal. Yes. Wrong. Absolutely not. The only conspiracy here is Blake's hair care line versus basic common sense. Sound off. Is the mirror lying or just too honest?
You can do, but then as you open up this environment that you declare a safe space, as soon as he says things similar to what you do, USH me, USH me, and now you are trying to defend yourself, so how dare you to silence victims? It is truly, truly sickening. Mandatory award of... So anyway, this is clearly a big deal, and this is such a big deal that, you know, this is much more complicated than Blake wants to. She's trying to use this as sort of the, I'm going to stand up for all victims, so you're going to rule in my favor, and therefore all other victims will be protected.
Digging into Blake's evidence was like opening a mystery box, full of air. No emails, no shady payments, no Illuminati group chats. Just a sad stack of texts cherry-picked so hard, they'd make a pie jealous. Instead of showing real evidence, her legal team stuffed the filings with buzzwords like smear retaliation and digital army, hoping if they threw enough dramatic words around, people would stop asking for facts.
Well, she won that confidentiality order, and I said, and I warned, just as Brian did in that courtroom, this is going to open up to a lot of silliness. A lot of things that Blake's team is going to try to use to make a lot of stuff seem secret, confidential. This was filed also on Friday, not a lot of people talking about it. She's already out there declaring confidential requests for anything representing her Blake Brown beauty product. Blake Brown, it's confidential. Trade secrets. We must protect the confidentiality here of this. What?
Discovery's here, and it's about to pop off like a Netflix doc exposing all the receipts. Blake's got to cough up every email, text, and contract with no filter, no PR spin. Witnesses under oath cue the Perry Mason meltdowns, and no amount of her hashtag activism or teary IG stories will save her when the paper trail drier than her conditioner. Real proof or bust, sis. Spoiler. She's bringing a PowerPoint of vibes to an evidence fight. Place your bets. Will her receipts be tea or tap water?
What international celebrities are in cahoots with Blake Brown. What I love is the fact that she's demanding confidentiality for this, but while at the same time declaring that sales plummeted because of the smear campaign. Well, then how can you say it's all confidential? We got to actually now go see if sales plummeted because of the backlash. We now need, and it just didn't have anything to do with that. Let's actually look at your sales. Let's actually open them up. You made this part of the case, Blake.
And just when you think it couldn't get more embarrassing, Ryan Reynolds' name pops up right on schedule. Turns out affidavit filed on March 30th, 2025 show. Ryan was out there months before Blake even filed her lawsuit, telling executives that Justin was a predator. So, basically, the same people screaming smear campaign were the ones who lit the first match.
People turned on her on the internet, and actually people already didn't like her for a long time because she was too damn old to play Lily in the movie. And she looked a hot ass mess with those outfits on. Has pushed him away. And this is his movie. We've seen him speak with passion and speak with empathy about this. And he's the only one still talking about domestic violence and what's important for this movie.
Blake's lawyers hit panic mode March 29th, 2025, begging the court to lock her brand secrets tighter than Kanye's unreleased Yeezy prototypes. They argued her revolutionary shampoo flop, marketing plans drier than the product itself, were trade secrets the beauty world was dying to steal. Sure, January. Because nothing screams corporate espionage like reverse engineering a 1.5-star hair disaster. The only thing sensitive here is Blake's ego when she Googles herself.
While the rest of y'all are sitting around kissing Blake's behind, while she just goes on and on and on and on about whatever nonsense that pops in her head at the moment. She can't even make a coherent sentence. Or if she does, she's usually telling on herself. Justin and his lawyer, Brian Friedman, are so hell-bent on destroying Blake, they're trying to shed a law meant to protect victims and send a chilling effect to others from speaking out. Stop lying.
Blake's legal squad said, go big or get sued, exposing Justin's PR team's home addresses like they were dropping pins for a stalker scavenger hunt. No redactions, no finesse, just here's where they sleep trolls. The recklessness was so blatant, even court clerks side-eyed it harder than a Real Housewives reunion lie. Imagine risking lives to win a case about shampoo. The audacity's louder than a car alarm at 3 a.m.
Friedman, of course, sees it exactly the opposite way, telling us Miss Lively and her circle of Hollywood elites cannot prevent my client from exercising their constitutional right to petition the court to clear their names from her false and harmful claims. She is an absolute abomination, this woman. Real victims, okay? I know real victims. My mother is a real victim of sexual assault. So sitting up here and acting like Justin Baldoni is victim shaming, victim blaming, or he doesn't want to believe all women. No, just because we were born with vaginas like yourself doesn't mean we have to believe you. You don't have evidence. You don't have a case, and you know it. You know the only things that you're putting out in these motions and these filings are just PR spin, because you even looking at Jed Wallace, your response to him, you didn't even have any evidence to support.
Of course, Blake's team sprinted to seal the leaks post-meltdown, but the double standard, clearer than her conditioner's failure to moisturize. She treated her sales data like nuclear launch codes while flinging strangers' addresses and medical files into the void like expired coupons. It's not just hypocrisy, it's ethical amnesia. So, sound off. Should the court lock her secrets up or throw away the key? So here's Blake Lively, Hollywood's fallen it girl, left clutching a $180 conditioner and a legal loophole like they're Oscar trophies. Her brand, a cautionary tale written in split ends and hypocrisy. She hijacked survivor stories, doxed strangers, and weaponized actual laws to dodge accountability, all while her PR team burned sage trying to cleanse this cursed rollout. The real question isn't if Hollywood will blacklist her, it's when. But hey, maybe she'll pivot to selling apology serums or starring in a true crime doc about herself. Drop your take. Is Blake's career deader than her shampoo's hydration claims, or will she pull a Phoenix Act straight into the next dumpster fire? Comment, roast, and stay tuned. Because in Hollywood, the only thing faster than a downfall is a comeback. that nobody asked for.